Let's just get to it. Do you agree that the internet is a harder space for women? Why? Is it helpful or harmful to acknowledge that? Initially, I would say yes, that the internet is a harder space for women. It's harder because trolls exist, and trolls, for whatever reason, are mainly heterosexual males whose sworn enemy is a woman on the internet with opinions. But lately, I feel like it's become less and less of a harmful place, and I think it's probably because I've been surrounding myself with wonderful and inspiring women and brave and kind men who support those women. I think it's helpful to know that yes, the internet isn't the safest place in the world to be a woman, but it's not harmful enough to stop you from being who you want to be on the internet. What is the most helpful book / article you've read / film you've watched / video you've seen this year about womanhood? A couple weeks ago, there were several articles about the newest Disney film, Frozen. The first thing in particular is a quote from one of the head animators that basically said, and I'm wildly paraphrasing this, women are harder to animate because they have a lot of emotions and it's hard to keep them pretty. Now, for those of you who don't know, Frozen is based off Hans Christian Andersen's story, The Snow Queen. The movie Frozen, I'm not familiar with the original fairy tale, but the movie Frozen features two main female characters. For like the first time, there's like two female leads, and that's super, that's awesome. There have been some criticisms that these two females look very similar to Tangled's Rapunzel. Well, first of all, the head animator's quote was taken wildly out of context. He was actually speaking about the physical animation of the characters, like the character models, like the computer generated thing, and not like just women in general. However, that quote did spark kind of a lot of feedback about another issue that strikes women in animation. Brenda Chapman is one of my favorite people in the entire world. She was the original director of Brave. She was the first female to direct a feature-length animated film, which is The Prince of Egypt. She came out and spoke about this quote, this article, and acknowledged the fact that it was widely out of context, but also pointed out that there just frankly aren't enough female animators, and that's a problem. Animation is a boys' club, and it has been a boys' club since it's existed. Typically, women didn't have higher roles in animation, and for a bunch of films that have women in them, I think in general there just need to be more women animators and filmmakers and writers and musicians, because women can do amazing things, and because entertainment is what we consume as people, what we consume the most, I think it needs to be a bigger place for women. Another great video I've seen is a TED Talk done by Colin Stokes. The video is called Hidden Meanings in Kids Movies, and it's about both women and men and just generals in general in some classic movies, and lessons we learned and stuff. And it's an excellent TED Talk. I'll link all of this, like both things, down below. Definitely worth checking out, especially if you're interested in entertainment. Do you think a focus on supportive networks of women online, whether formally through things like Wonderly or informally, is beneficial or hurts the cause? Yeah, okay. I think these formal communities, networks, support systems are generally a very good thing. I have a lot of friends in Wonderly. There are a lot of really, really wonderful women in Wonderly. I was formerly a part of Wonderly. I'm not anymore because Wonderly just wasn't what I was looking for. And I'm not saying anything bad about the network at all. I think it's a great thing. And what I'm about to say has nothing to do with Wonderly. It has nothing to do with anything in particular. I think it's really important to bring these issues of womanhood to the surface because it's honestly a thing that's not talked about enough. And I think it's great to create these communities and support systems, especially on the internet and especially for women. But sometimes these groups, I think, could feel a little exclusive to women. That could just be a horribly broad generalization, and I'm sure a lot of people are probably going to get mad at me for saying that. And I'm not saying I'm witnessing this in particular, I'm just saying feminism is about equality. It's not about supporting just women and women only and everyone else is terrible. I think if we're going to support women, we need to include everybody in it. What have you done to support female content creators in the past year? Are things better now than they were then? What do you pledge to do in this coming year? What I have done in the past year is existed. Honestly, a year is a really, really long time online. Lots of things come and go in a year, and lots of people come and go in a year. I was making videos a year ago, and I'm still making them today. What I've done to support the female community online is to continue to do what I love, despite the fact that I'm a minority. I mentioned, yeah, animation's a boys club, but I never stopped to think for a second that my gender was going to slow me down or harm me in any way. You just can't think like that. And that goes for all sort of gender identifications. Don't let anything ever stop you or slow you down. So yeah, things I guess were better than they were a year ago because I'm still doing what I like to be doing, but in a bigger sense. And I feel like there are more women coming together and supporting one another and more men supporting those women, and it's just become a better place in general. And for this coming year, I pledge to keep doing the same things I'm doing, and I pledge to keep supporting other female content creators and other female animators and filmmakers and just other women because we need each other. Who are your 5 favorite internet females? I have a lot of them, but here just 5. Cassie King is one of my very best internet friends, but she's also one of my very favorite people on the internet. She's just fantastic. Leslie Founder Grail is also one of my favorite vloggers of all time. She's sarcastic and snarky. She's so intelligent and hilarious and witty, and I love her. Marina, because who doesn't love Marina at this point? I don't know what wizard came and granted her magical vlogging powers, but she's honestly one of the best video makers I've seen ever in my entire 5-6 years on this website. She has been one of the best people I have ever seen. Natalie Tran, because she's been the person I've been consistently watching the longest. She is funny and creative and clever. I don't know how she does it, but she is just the best. And last but not least is Brianna, and I definitely do not talk about Brianna enough, just in general in my life, not just in my videos. Brianna is who I do the Herbert the Duck videos with. She's a superhero. Who I'm tagging? I don't know. I'm late to this party. I feel like everyone's already done the survey, but if you haven't done it yet, do it. I'm tagging you. That's right, you person. Insert your name here. Thank you guys for watching, and until next time, later days. There's a general consensus that some of the most